Calling all runners. Are you looking to take your running to the next level? Are you looking to get faster before your next big race? Or are you looking to start running and you just want some guidance and instruction? Listen, Coach Larry Lopez is your guy. Larry is a USA track and field certified coach as well as a certified personal trainer, and he was a standout runner in college, and he's now committed to helping you reach your full running potential. Larry doesn't have a one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to coaching. He develops personalized training plans for each of his athletes. That way, each athlete gets the proper attention that they need and that they reach their full running potential. So whether you're gearing up for a 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon, or you're just running day to day recreationally, Larry Lopez is your guy. You can reach out to Larry at 314-596-8809 or shoot him an email at larry@truepotentialrunning.com. Trust me, you will not regret investing in Larry, and he will help you take your running to the next level. Now, enjoy the latest episode of Lactic Acid with Dominique Smith. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, and welcome to Lactic Acid. I'm your host, Dominique Smith. Today, I have a certified baller, shot caller. She is doing big things on and off the track in the field. If you think you can jump far, you told yourself a lie, because she can jump farther than you, and she made the Olympic team to prove it. She has credentials that are beyond belief, and guess what? She is the modern day version of Schoolhouse Rock with the wonderful things that she's doing for the community. She is none other than the legend that is Miss Lacey Henderson. Lacey, appreciate you coming on the show. How are you doing today?
Oh, well, honestly, after an introduction like that, I am just elated to be here.
Listen, it's all facts. As we say on this show, all thriller, no filler. That's how we roll up in here. I am pumped to talk to you, and you're going to see why she is awesome. And the people who are listening, if you don't know anything about her, as they say, if you don't know, now you know. Here we go. So I've been asking this question. It's a summertime jam question. It's hot outside. Well, I live in Orlando, born and raised here in Florida, so it's hot year round. Or maybe I'm just really hot, just walking outside.
You run
But
hot.
yeah, just run hot. It's on E. Like gas tank is on E. just burning hot. But let's just say in these hot summer months, Ben and Jerry want to cool people down. And there are 1 to 3 companies that want to do a custom promotion for you specifically. Ben and Jerry Food Network and the cool people at Nickelodeon. They're like, it is hotter than fish grease on the 4th of July at a family reunion. What can we do to elevate somebody's awesomeness? Then they found you. And they said, we are going to make a custom promotion. So what these companies are going to do, Food Network, they're going to fly their executive chef. I don't know who it is. It's a bunch of them on Food Network at many times in the day. But one of them is going to go to your location. They are going to cook you a gourmet meal, your favorite gourmet meal of all time. And they're going to put it on every menu in this great land of ours that they're associated and affiliated with. Ben and Jerry, both of them were in on this meeting. They said, we're the ice cream kings of the world. What we want to do is we want to create an ice cream promotion. So you have to pick 2 flavors of ice cream. They're going to combine them into one. They're going to sell it at every grocery store, every convenience store, every store. They're just going to make a store, and they're going to put the ice cream in there. Lastly, back in the day, this is what Nickelodeon is going to do for you. And I'm 29, so it is back in the day. So back in the day, there was a television show called The Wild Thornberrys, where the lead character, Eliza Thornberrys, had the ability to talk to animals. That power is going to be given to you. So you get a chance to pick any animal that you'd like to talk with. You're going to have that power. What we need from you, Sister Henderson, we need the gourmet meal, need the ice cream, we need the animal that you want to communicate with.
All right. The gourmet meal's hard because when it comes to food, I ain't got no type. I'm pretty non-discriminatory. But okay.
Praise them. Yeah.
And being a woman of a certain age, you mentioned, of course I knew Wild Thornberrys. My birthday was yesterday. I just turned 34.
Okay, happy birthday. We praise the Lord. Yeah. That sister got another lap around the sun everywhere.
Another day. Here for another day. And I was really in the mood for like squid ink pasta. I come from Italian immigrants, and so I have a very American Italian background, and that was on my mind yesterday. So I think, and honestly, anything like with squid ink pasta, because it looks fancy and it tastes normal. I would be willing to give somebody like artistic license, because really I really am non-discriminatory when it comes to food. I'm sorry that I don't have anything much more exciting.
Listen, that's
But
good enough. Yeah.
squid ink, it's giving, elevation in pasta, right?
Yeah.
Ice cream, if I were to combine two, I would do the green mint, but I would combine it with cookies and cream. So instead of mint chocolate chip, it'd be like mint cookies. I think that
Okay.
could be, that could be a thing. And I think it's already a thing, but if I could really.
So take the chocolate chip out and we're just going full on mint.
Yeah. No, we're going mint with the Oreo cookies instead of chocolate chips.
Oh, yeah, they have that.
Well, I'm gonna buy the copyright to it.
Okay, they haven't copyrighted it. It's okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll buy the trademark license to that, because I like that kind of ice cream. Either that or maybe like I used to work. My first job was at a gelato place. Like if banana stracciatella was like a really good one too. So like banana ice cream with like the Oreo, that could be kind of bomb.com too. I see the wheels turning. I see the wheels turning.
Okay. Keep
Not
going.
for you. I see banana.
No, I have to. Here's the thing. I love bananas. I love ice cream. I'm just trying to put two and two together to get.
Yeah.
So it's like a bootleg banana split, low key.
Yeah, and it would be the bootleg banana split. That's what we can call it.
Okay, I can roll with that. The bootleg
banana split. Bootleg BLBS, bootleg banana split.
Yes, let me get a large cup of the BBS on this July.
And you put a prosthetic leg as the look. We're branding right now.
Hey, listen, there it is. It's called the Henderson BBS Supreme. That's what we rolling with. I like that.
And I think for the animal that I would talk to, honestly, it would just be my dog, because I spend a lot of time right now, like when I'm not training, I'm at home. And my partner, my boyfriend, works a lot, and just somebody else that would just talk back at this point would just be my dog. Just have another buddy, teach him how to text back.
What kind of dog do you have?
My dog was honestly like picked out of a trash can. Like I was living in Phoenix. He looks like the Taco Bell dog, but he's also a tripod. So they say that dogs look like their owners, and I really wanted to ensure that was the case. For me.
Okay. I Lord have mercy. I didn't even know that. Okay, cool. The one thing I'm curious about what a dog is saying is when a car rolls up and they just go crazy barking. Yeah. If we could translate that to English, I would pay good money just to hear that, because I think some of these dogs, if they smell the scent and they know it's somebody they don't like, I feel like dogs just be cussing out those people. Like
for sure.
Just in general.
We would learn new insults, new threats that just come out unprompted. I think like, it could perhaps like enhance the culture of language as we know it.
Oh God, that's its own version of rap music. For sure. Just that dog music. Like, oh man. I would just love, especially these dogs in the South, because some of those barks, they have some power to them. Like you can tell they bark like they've been
in the ground.
Yeah, it's deep within. It's soul barking. Like it is. Like they bark like they've been through some stuff. Like it is. Oh man. Okay, so we have two foods that I cannot pronounce, but I really want. The pasta thingy, Italian brand. I'm with it. I love Italian food. BBS prosthetic ice cream. Wow, I love that. Honestly, like they say on Inside the NBA, like put that on a t-shirt. I want that. And then the barking dog. I think that's a good promotion, Lacey. I don't know about you, but I'm with that.
Just want a simple life, man.
I don't want to call that simple. I think that's elevated. Elevated. Yes. Okay. That is thriving with a capital TH, and that is moving forward. Like you moving on up like the Jeffersons. That's how we roll up in here. So I'm definitely with that. If y'all don't know about Lacey, for the majority of people listening, she can jump farther than you, and she's probably listen, for me, I think I could touch the rim, and I think I could fly. I'm singing, I believe I could fly, but then you literally are flying. There is video proof of that. But Lacey, as she mentioned, She is a Paralympic athlete, rare form of cancer back in the day, and got her leg cut off, amputated. The correct term.
That's the cleaner, but yeah,
That's the
they sawed it off.
Yeah, so if there's any doctors listening to this, forgive me. She didn't get her leg cut off. It was surgically removed very carefully
by cutting it off
by just cutting it off. And since then she got a prosthetic. Ever since then, it's been game over for everybody. When it comes to the dominance of what you're not able, just not on when it comes to jumping and sprinting, but just in a world where self-confidence is important, I feel like you bring such a unique perspective. Like you are like the hot sauce on a pork rind when it comes to the level of just the added element of like, yo, it is important. And if y'all don't know what a pork rind is, just look it up.
And I was like, this is the best compliment I've ever received.
It is. I'm saying that Crystal Lake, if you're from the South, you know what Crystal Lake hot sauce will do for you. That has some power to it like none other. I'm telling you, it was around in Bethlehem when Jesus was during that time period. But it's biblical. It's powerful. It's some power up in that. But pretty much that's how powerful your message is to not just young girls, but just young people and people in general. You have to have some confidence in this world. For you, and I'm just curious about it, just listening to the interviews and then seeing the great work you've done. In your own words, how important is having self-confidence in a world that tries to take it away?
Oh, I mean, like being confident in yourself is probably like one of the most important like things anybody can have in order to even have direction in the journey that they want to go. And I think like so often society, cultural aspects like try to tear that down and especially for any marginalized person, that is a part of any marginalized identity. And I feel like I was born with like the same sense of entitlement as like my older white dad. So like I really, whether or not it was like deserved or not, like I had this inherent sense of confidence. And as I've grown, it's evolved into something I think a little bit more like holistic and like with deeper roots. Like when you're young, you can kind of fake it till you make it, right? Mm-hmm. But like as I've gotten older, as I've gotten smarter, as I've gotten wiser, as life has served me humble pie, which is my least favorite flavor of pie, but you know, everybody's got to have a taste. It's transformed, I think, in a way that is more profound and has more meaning, so that like whenever I make my next choices, like the confidence of like where I've been and where I know I want to be, it's definitely a driver in that. And I think that like self-confidence helps so many of us like on our journey and the paths where we want to be.
I feel like humble pie, if it really had a taste, it would be like, I'm from the South, it would taste like milk and magnesia.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, something like
a little
that.
Chalky.
That chalky, that nasty.
But like there's something still kind of fucked up about it.
You're not getting that. I never tasted the sweet in the milk and magnesia. Pepto-Bismol has more sugar in it than milk and magnesia does. That's
and like the grocery store crust, you know, where it's like sweet.
Yeah. No sweet. That Chris Rock he did a joke like way back on the show Everybody Hates Chris. It's like there's the name brand, which is Chips Ahoy. There's the store brand, which is chocolate chip cookies. And then there's like the other brand, which is cookie. And that's like the milk of magnesia is like life is like that cookie brand. Like it's not even, you don't even know what's in it. It's just cookie. You just know what cookie in it.
They didn't even pay for a photo of a cookie on top of the like packaging. Yeah.
No, it's like one of those things where you think, oh, it's a chocolate chip. It just got cookie in it in like Times New Roman font.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like, but no, it's interesting because I asked that, and then you did something really cool. I saw a picture, and you were in the great state of Colorado. You got a bill passed that will. And I'm going to mess up how I say this, so please forgive me.
I'll help you.
I was a journalism major, And it's been a minute since I watched Schoolhouse Rock, but ever since I saw that post, I've been walking around my house singing "I'm Just a Bill." Yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting there on Capitol Hill. Listen, young kids, y'all need to watch that. That was childhood back in the day.
That's education.
But essentially, it's going to allow for the Congress of Colorado to pay for prosthetics and other, sorts of things like that, for people who need it. Did I get that right? And if I did,
you were close.
Lord have mercy. You see, the goal was to catch W's, and we just had to get a lowercase L. So I'm gonna let you explain what you did. Go ahead.
Call it a lowercase W. It was close. It was swinging in the right direction. It's
a miss.
I just got my master's in sports psychology, and sometimes you have to give yourself a range of a target instead of the target itself. And I'd say it was in the range,
Okay, but listen, that don't work. If a pitcher throws something in a range and I swing and don't hit the ball, that's a strike. So
I'm in Denver, like you had mentioned, in Colorado, and tonight's game 5 for the Nuggets, and that's like, I'm like, if that ball's not in the basket, it's not a point.
That's
okay.
Right. That's right.
What we need is points.
What you need is points. What you need is points.
So House Bill 1136 was a bill proposed by a collaborative group here, and they included me in on it. And basically what it does is it requires insurance, so people that are insured in the state of Colorado, to cover for an additional prosthetic for recreation. So like if you're an amputee or somebody with limb loss, limb difference, your insurance helps pay for like a day a leg to get from A to B, right? Mm-hmm. But our argument was that like movement is medicine, and being able to participate in sports and recreation is a human right. And we passed unanimously through our House and our Senate, and it became a bill just recently, a couple of weeks ago. It was signed by our Lieutenant Governor. And I did not review the Schoolhouse Rock video, but I felt like I was living it in real life, because it's kind of like, passing a bill was a lot like working on a production set. Like it was a lot of hurry up and wait, a lot of like big performances, and then a lot of recovery efforts as well. But that was a really cool experience, especially, I don't know, like this might be like spilling a little too much tea, especially because the USOPC, US Olympic Paralympic Committee, is headquartered in the Springs. And I thought it was awfully odd that we didn't hear from them while we were trying to pass that bill. But at the end of the day, what it does is it creates opportunity for people to be able to experience sports. Like one of the biggest barriers of access to sport is the equipment. Like a pair of running shoes, trainers, spikes, that'll cost you anywhere from $120 to $160, right? But a prosthetic will cost you anywhere from like $2,000 to $30,000 for a running leg. So it's not just something that you're like, maybe I'll try to run and see if I'm talented at it. Like that's a financial commitment that a lot of people don't have the privilege to afford, and now they do. So that's been really cool.
What went into the process of who's on this team? Who was the squad? Tell me about the squad. How does the squad run? That's first.
Yeah, we created like this coalition. It was called Rocky Mountain Orthotic and Prosthetic Coalition. And so we had team members that were basically going to break down costs for how much extra it would cost, like the average insurer in Colorado, like in their premium. So every month you pay your insurance premium, right? And we somebody did the math, it equated to like a total of like 1 to 2 pennies per customer. So like that seemed like a reasonable increase. That seemed like that wasn't going to be that dramatic. And we had to do a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of arguing, because the pushback was, of course, like there's a lot of nonprofit organizations that offer grants. So you can apply for a grant and get a prosthetic or get funding, whatever. But again, like that's not accessible to everybody. Not everybody has a computer. Not everybody has the ability to sit down, write essays, write cohesive essays, get referral letters, all this stuff. And it's just like we had Representative David Ortiz was wounded in Afghanistan. He's a spinal cord injury, so he uses a wheelchair. And he kind of spearheaded the whole bill as soon as we started doing it. He does a lot of stuff with disability. And he was honestly like our rock star, I think, on the inside, for somebody working in on the inside, helping us kind of move the bill along, because he has a lived experience of disability where he knows like you can't just roll up to a national park in Colorado and like go hike when you're disabled. Like it requires a lot more. And again, like if you think about it in a track and field aspect, like my dad went to Olympic trials for pole vault. Like he is like a big track head. My brother's name is Trax. My middle name is Fields. He's like kind of demented, but he was one of my first coaches. And he was like, Lacey, only you would choose a sport like running, track, that doesn't need much and need all this shit. And like that's exactly like having a running prosthetic and having all those extra devices. Like it's a lot of stuff, and what we wanted it to do was like relieve the cost and the burden on the individual, on the person who's already been through something like unfortunate, and still be able to have access to like the human right of movement in sports. So I don't know. It was a great experience. I gave a lot of dramatic testimony. They were like, "We want drama," and I was like, "Say less." So I was able to flex my theatrical muscles there too.
My motto in life is, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, and it's clear that you were ready.
That's true.
Were ready. What was that process like? Because I can't even imagine. I mean, I had the opportunity to cover politics in college, and just as a journalist and as a student reporter, but to actually be in a position where you got to build past, and then like you said, there's a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and probably frustrating moments. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, there was, first of all, I like wish that I had like political training, because you can ask a politician a question and they will answer a different question. Like you're just like, wow, like the mental gymnastics that it takes to pretend to be listening or asking questions. We basically, like, we had a lobbyist who I still don't really fully understand what that means. A lobbyist, basically, my understanding was they were just like a political influencer. Like they're just like, hey guys, like get ready with me today. We're gonna go pass a bill. Like that was like they kind of like were our like compass through all of this. She was awesome.
Sounds like a TikTok star, like behind the scenes.
Like, I'm just like trying to like translate this into everyday context, just because that's how I understood it. Because I was like, what do lobbyists do? Like that wasn't covered in the I'm just a bill segment. So
that was in that elbow room segment, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, though. And so like our lobbyists had like a lot of relationships, that important like strategic relationships, and also knew some of the players that were going to give us pushback. So we were able to provide like a lot of like heavily backed research, because of course, like you need to come up with receipts for politics, for who's ever going to like push back against you. You need to have the receipts, and also like realizing that it's so hard, like again, with somebody with a lived experience, because it can be so emotional and personal, but also being able to see the bigger picture of being like, what's the bottom line? Like, what's the money? Because they're going to worry about money, because that's really at the end of the day, what are we here for? Trying to make a dollar, trying to save a dollar, even in politics, which is, I would pay a ton of taxes to help people, but not everybody feels that way. And just being prepared for being prepared to answer some of those questions. I mean, I think when I gave my testimony, a lot like this podcast, honestly, like I wanted to give something that was like a little bit more refreshing, and like a little bit less of just like a personal anecdotal story, but like how it has greater impact on like a greater good. And also like what are we saying to our citizens? Like my second testimony that I gave to the Senate, was like, if somebody is ill, if a child gets ill with cancer, do we have to punish them for the rest of their life for surviving? And that's really what it kind of has, what my experience is. When you look at it, it's so dramatic, right? It's spicy. Slapped it in their faces like but then being ready to answer questions. I mean, I had a question from a senator that was going to be a no. I'm pretty sure I mean, I hate to say it was me, but I'm pretty sure I answered his question. About like, he had asked, and like, I don't know, it's also like being able to have a good poker face, because he had asked a question that like honestly did not make any sense and is not how any of this works. He was asking like, if you get a prosthetic, what happens if you get the wrong kind? And I'm like, okay, well, so doctors write prescriptions. Like that's not really that's not how the process of getting any sort of device works. Like, but again, finding a diplomatic way to be like, great question. That's not how this works. And like, let me have the experts back this up. So I mean, being diplomatic kind of in your own argument as well was something that I learned was like very, very useful in that experience. And also, yeah, just not letting your emotions get ahead of you, because having that lived experience and knowing how hard it is every day to make that fight, but like not taking it personal, that I think was like what helped us get a lot of W's for sure.
Well, I mean, you weren't getting W's, you were getting capital W's. I'm gonna have to start.
Yeah,
It's
I'm in history now, in the Colorado State history. My name.
I'm honestly gonna have to start calling you Bishop Lacey J. Henderson the first. That's what it is. I was like, ooh, I felt that in my soul. Yeah, Bishop Lacey. I like that. Bishop Henderson on the beat. I like that. That's official. Oh, we got to get that. So whenever you're in in Paris, Bishop Henderson with her final attempts on the long jump. I'm with that. Or Bishop Lacey.
Put me in the Pope Mobile when I ride out.
And when they're introducing the athletes, listen, don't let her win the gold medal. It's over. It's over. We're gonna get back to that towards the end of the show. But what are 3 things that people do not know about Bishop Lacey J. Henderson the first?
Oh man, what are 3? I'm honestly like such an extrovert and a Gemini that I feel like everybody knows everything about me all the time. One thing that people do not know about me is I am the King, Bishop, Queen of Irish goodbyes. Like if there's a party and I don't want to be there anymore, I'll just leave and say bye to you tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't know. I come from an Italian family. If you say bye, you'll never leave. They don't let you leave when you say goodbye.
But what? I know Irish goodbyes.
I feel like everybody has I feel like that's the most widely known term, widely known term of that. Like I think of it as the fadeaway, the disappear, the disappearance. I'm really good at disappearing. If I want to leave, I'll just leave, man.
So you don't say bye, you just roll on out.
I will roll out and then I'll text. Then I'll be like,
the next day. So people, that is terrible. So people could be worried. Like, Lacey, she gone? Where'd she go? Calling the cops.
And I'll just send him a screenshot.
Why do I have to text you? You that is so bad. See, I
hate goodbye, so I just leave.
Okay. So when Michael Jackson them wrote "Never Can Say Goodbye," I think they had you in mind.
Yeah, that was me.
So you just Lord, okay, keep going.
Okay, all right. Yeah. That was an honest one, and you know what? And I'm feeling a little judged, but that's okay.
You sure? You know, usually. Don't mistake my being shook for judgment.
I see that you're very good at goodbyes. I'll just leave. I'll just leave.
Just throw a scripture at him. Just say, "May the peace of God that surpasses," something fancy. Because I'm like, I would be so worried if you just like, where did she go? And for me, I'm more introverted, and everybody struggles with anxiety, so I'll be freaking out. Like, Lord, she gone. Be playing Hall & Oates. She's gone.
Okay, if I'm at one of your parties, I will text you, be like, I just got in the Uber, had a great time.
Thank you. That would, and I would say, you know what? I would have paid for it if you would have told me. But I don't have parties, so don't even worry about that.
Who's got the time and effort at this age,
Or the energy. Like, I could be sleep. Now, I will go to somebody's party. Now Lactic Acid may be doing something for the Olympic marathon trials. I don't know how that's going to work when, I'm going to be yawning the whole time. But your
future Dominique's problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. So let's stick to the current. What is the second thing that people
speaking of parties, I actually really like throwing parties. Like I actually I have a small house but a big yard in Denver. So like when the weather's nice right now, this year's winter will not quit. It's just been really rainy recently. But I can't complain to my friends in the South because it's so hot there all the time. I'm like, oh, it's 70, that's the lovely temperature.
Girl, don't even do that. It was like 70. We don't even dip that low at night anymore. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
So bad at goodbyes at parties, but I will throw a party. I love throwing parties. But I guess the thing is because I don't have to worry about getting home. I'm already home.
That's fair.
Like to throw house parties, but also like not like a raging sense, but like in a way of like playing some games in the backyard and just talking and connecting people. I'm a connector of people. I'm learning. And let's see, what would be the third thing? The third thing is I guess like the third thing that's really coming to mind, I feel like I'm just talking shit on myself and making myself sound terrible, but I'm like a little bit of a travel snob. No, snob.
A travel snob. Okay.
I think when you travel a lot for work, so I had contracts for a while where I would travel a lot for work, and then all of the stuff you do for track, you start accumulating your miles, you get your status, and like now, well, even traveling disabled, like we don't get many perks as disabled people, but the few we get, I'm going to enjoy. And one of those is the pre-board. I will not board in my zone. No way. I'm going to be first on the plane.
I don't see how that's snobbish. I think that's a power move. That's a power move.
Thank you. I mean, well, it's so funny because when you do travel with, like when you travel with your team, like if it's a Paralympic team or a national squad, like the entire team pre-boards, which I know is very annoying for everybody else, but that's something that I do not care about. But yeah, I really try to make travel at this point, I think because it's just such a fresh hell every single time we have to go to the airport, I try to make it as pleasant as possible. So if there's an upgrade available within a reasonable amount of money, like I'll pay for it. I think I grew up, my mom's a retired flight attendant, and I didn't grow up with money. So I remember like flying standby, waiting forever, like getting bumped off. And now like as I get older, the amount of money I'm willing to spend to make my life easier to get home once again.
Listen, that's an investment.
Yeah,
that's not snob. That's an investment.
I call it my sanity like expense. And that's investing in yourself.
Investing in yourself, self-love, hashtag everybody need to do it. I'm with that. I have not flown first class yet. I don't have first class money. I when I flew Delta, where was I going? I was going to the most expensive place on earth, the most expensive airport on earth, which is Eugene's airport. And I remember Delta looked at me because usually I used to fly Southwest, and it was with like class.
Oh, Southwest is the best though. You can really fly like nice with South. Okay, maybe not in Florida.
I did not have a pleasant experience with the South or Southwest. But maybe we'll try again because I get emails like, "Oh, you want to fly for $50? We got you."
That's the thing. Yeah, I was like, okay, with these prices.
And Southwest has those good peanuts. So that's another incentive. Even though Delta has those cinnamon cookies. That I'm like, lady, like, ma'am, next to me, do you want your cookie? You look like you don't want that. So may I have it?
I'll take that. I think I've seen those cookies at Costco. Fun fact. You might need to do some investigating.
What are they called again?
They're like the Biscoff cookies.
Biscoff, brother Biscoff. If you're listening to this, come sponsor this show. Yes, brother Biscoff. Come with it, man. But the lady was like, all right, that'll be $50. I'm like, $50 for what? To check in your bag? I'm like, lady, it's under 50 pounds. It's 49.9 pounds. Like, oh, it's still $50. I'm so mad. So I don't know.
You got to get like the credit card. You got to do something to help yourself with the status. That's the thing. No, hell no.
I was crying. That was my fried chicken.
Like my stuff for $50 amount.
No,
I'll leave this.
I was like, ma'am, that was my fried chicken money. Like, what are we doing?
$50.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, you get exclusive pieces wherever you go. You just never know. You have to be ready. You have to stay ready. Stay ready. Yes, like I said, stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
When you're traveling, that's how you know. You're like, what is this going to cost me? Just whatever. Just tell me how much. Just tell me how much, so I don't have to deal with this fresh hell.
What you sound like Frasier Crane.
I love Frasier Crane, man. What a show! What an underrated show.
I have the entire series. So I don't know. There's a moment in one of the episodes. Oh, what fresh hell is this? That just reminds me.
I like to ease into my mornings. I'm like that too. That's my bonus one. I like to ease into my mornings, like Frasier Crane. I don't like to rush in the morning.
Oh man, I don't. We'll get to Frasier in just a second. But what's the best airport that you've been to?
The best airport I've been to. Okay, this is just like a side note, since they've redone the LaGuardia airport, it's actually really nice. But I will say, besides LaGuardia, the Singapore airport is like probably the coolest airport I've been to. They have like movie theaters there. They had sleeping pods, like a whole like waterfall and shit.
Oh my gosh.
LaGuardia's got the waterfall now too. I was just in New York and I'm like, oh, but damn, this is cool. And
really?
$20 bagel. But Singapore was cool. Yeah, Singapore is like probably the coolest airport.
I just need to go to Singapore just to go to the airport. I don't
need to see the rest.
Yeah, and I could go see a movie premiere. I could get me a nice dinner, and I could go to sleep.
Exactly. Then go back. Yeah. Then 20 hours back.
And then 20 hours back on the plane. Okay, I like that. I love our airport down here in Orlando, OIA or MCO. They changed it.
I love the Orlando airport too. I really do.
Denver's airport was pretty. See, we went to Denver. This was back in high school when I went on a senior ski trip. It was doing that conspiracy theory where they had stuff in the. So you're just looking at the walls differently, like just like something's going to jump out.
The worst. It's really nothing makes sense. It's like too big and like really poorly planned, and it's always under construction. It's under construction again. Terrible.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna scratch Denver off the list. The airport in DC, couldn't tell you which one it was, but girl, I have me a pizza from there. When I tell you that pizza was different, I don't know what they did to that crust and that pepperoni, but it was pure. Ooh. It was silver and gold kind of pure. I was
maybe it wasn't. I don't think it's the dullest airport. I've only heard bad things about food there, and I've had some bad food experiences there, but maybe I didn't get the pizza.
I judge an airport by your bathrooms and by your food. And that's why this airport that I'm about to say, it conflicts me because I hate this airport, but I love it at the same time. The best food, I don't care where you go. Go to Atlanta airport is the worst airport and the best airport. I have not. The Chick-fil-A hits differently. They put seasoning in that chicken. I'm from the South. My family's rooted from Alabama, so I know about foods that make your artery clogged, but it's just great for you. I'm a fried chicken expert. I say fried chicken bad for the body, good for the soul. I have a whole segment based around fried chicken. And so for those who I just made a TikTok. We just upgraded the TikTok name to 2-piece in a biscuit. So that's what the name of that segment is. Listen, one terminal, they got a KFC, they got a Bojangles, and then they have other stuff. Then on the other end, they have like a Popeyes and everything. I saw this lady, I don't know what the name of it was called, but she had a plate that had fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and collard greens, and just candy yams. And I was like, Lord.
Damn.
You know
at an airport that cares.
I'm trying to tell you, I was so conflicted because I was like, I can go over there and get me a plate, but it's gonna be trouble getting on that airplane because I'm gonna be going through it.
That's the thing. I was thinking, I'm like, you have to have again a recovery plan after that. We need a Tom situation. I like the sal de uva, like that pico. The Mexican one.
Ooh. If you get Mexican food and get on a plane, don't talk to me ever. there is so disrespectful. Like if it's like low-key Mexican food, like a nice quesadilla with just chicken, cheese, guac, and some pico, that's fine. But anytime them beans enter in the picture, your flight needs to be delayed.
Well, and I feel like too, like with whatever's happening with the air pressure and then the gas valve inside of your body, like those things do not blend well.
Especially when you take off. When that air gets thin, I don't need to hear Putin all over the place. Like it's that's struggles.
My mom was a flight attendant, as I mentioned, and she was like, you could always tell the morning flights just because it was just like coffee farts and everybody going to the bathroom. And
I know. Somebody rolled up into the in the airplane with some pancakes and some eggs and stuff. I said, listen, you're going to pay for that in about 30 seconds.
That needed to happen. Exactly. When this plane gets... Before or after this plane ride.
It needs to happen after. You have to be near a secure bathroom just in case. So you can just be wherever you need to be. Frasier Crane. What is like the most iconic Frasier Crane moment in your opinion? Like what's the one that stands out to you?
I'm a bigger Seinfeld fan for sure, but I did watch the entire season of Frasier. Like I had a weird time in my life where I had this 50-year-old roommate and he was like, we should watch Frasier. And so that's all we did was we watched Frasier. But I think God, I love Frasier Crane, man. I mean, I like to ease into my mornings, but I really identified more with his brother when he's wearing like that linen suit and he's got the parrot on his shoulder.
Niles. Oh my gosh.
Niles just trying to live, sometimes you go through a lot, have hard relationships, things aren't necessarily working out, but just trying to enjoy a peaceful moment. That was something that I really appreciated about Frasier and Niles, but they were also just like so delusional, which is something I admire.
that specific episode, there's nothing. He had a bird, a peacock that's talking back to him. Ain't no peaceful no bird.
Like a cockatoo or something, right?
Yeah,
Like,
cockatoo. And
yeah.
didn't they lose the bird or they killed the bird?
I think they
Some
lost the
tragic.
bird. Something happened to the bird.
I
But it
don't
was a
know.
nice moment. It was a nice moment that Niles had.
Frasier helped enhance my vocabulary.
For sure.
Because there's some things, like if I'm looking for a nice bottle of wine, I always do this because Frasier was such a snob and just the way he articulated things. And so I'll just ask, like I go to Publix or go somewhere and I'll ask, do you have a bottle of the Chateau de Lavaux or like something like that? I think Niles one time, I don't know what Frasier did that he copied Niles and he looks at him and goes, "You envious reptile." Like that's in the vocabulary. Just little things like that. It helped. It was the Schoolhouse Rock.
He really did give like an elevated like an elevated comment, like an elevated what's the word I'm looking for? Insult.
It was yeah, it was like a 5-star insult. Like it wasn't like I don't know. Their talents. Say Le Cigar Bolo, like whatever the frick that means, whatever French restaurant that means. I'm still looking for that place.
I like it. I also love that they like lived in Seattle, which is like such a granola crunchy place, but like for some reason they just really like why did they have English accents? But it's because it was just like that level of just yeah, I don't know, like it's this like I don't know if it would be like narcissism, just like self-involvement, maybe all of the above.
All of the above.
Love those guys. And the dad. The dad was the best because he was a blue collar, hardworking guy. He's like, why do I have what happened to my kid?
I remember one time he thought that the guy that he thought this because his wife passed away. But there was an affair, the wife had an affair, and he thought the guy that was friends with Frasier and Niles that they looked up to because they were so similar in temperament and everything. Yeah. So he low-key thought that was their father. But it turns out that he was gay. And so Martin was tripping and he goes back into the room after the guy tells him, like, listen, I'm gay. Like, you don't have to worry about that. And he walks back in and he sees Frasier and Niles on the piano and he goes, my boys. And then they started singing, on a tree by a river, a little tom tit. Tit willow, tit willow, tit willow. He just throws his cane. It's just like, I don't know, I don't know.
What the hell happened to these kids, man?
It's like, what? They're so mad. Like they couldn't play sports. I don't know. That was just such an elevated show. But what does sound elevated are these summer parties that you be throwing.
Okay, come on over. Whenever
so, I mean, I would prefer, it was like 98 degrees today. So, which is kind of normal. You get used to it.
Yeah, but the humidity is different too. When I lived in Texas, I learned the hard way. The humidity changes things.
Listen, people who have hair, see, I have this nice little cut, and I need to go back to the barber to get this shaped up. But people who have hair, like there's a reason Dolly Parton's hair, pretty much look like evolved into like this global cotton candy when it comes to the ecosystem. Listen. Because she in Tennessee, she in the South. That humidity is different. Florida is the only place you could take a shower, or the South, you could take a shower. I still think it's Florida. And it'll rain. And you're like, Lord, thank you. It's raining. It's going to be cool. and it stops raining and it's more humid and hot than it was. Like, it's like the sun is like, you thought I was gone? Here you go. Like,
you thought wrong.
Like, you thought wrong. You're going to learn today. I don't know. It's just, I don't want to talk about that because it gets me depressed. I honestly, that's why I love Christmas so much, because it just gives me something to look forward to, even though it got cold this year. It was like 33 degrees on Christmas Day. But
no, not in Florida. That's like,
I was so happy because girl, I've been praying for a winter wonderland ever since I was knee high to a grasshopper. So we still haven't had snow yet, but what are those parties like? So what games are you playing?
Okay, so I'm like not a big like board game or even honestly yard game, but like my family, we play bocce ball a lot. So it's like an Italian yard bowling game.
I've heard of
that. But yeah, it's like, so there's like the red balls and the green balls, the little white balls, the Paulino. You throw the Paulino and then you try to get all your team tries to get like their colors the closest to the Paulino, and that's how you score points. And like that is the patron game of our family. My dad has a bocce court, like an official one in his house.
Okay.
I just have a bocce area, and the other games is just sit around and drink and talk. That's the other game that we play.
But the main question, and this is the most important part of the party, what food are y'all cooking?
Oh, last time I had like this really good like taco place. I just got like a shit ton of tacos from there. My partner's like a really, really good grill, but like I usually just try to be like, bring your own food because I don't want to have to pay for it.
I like that. And then you could take your own dish back to your house and watch it yourself.
But we'll grill it. You can bring some stuff and we can all grill. But like, I'm not, listen, I'm not your mom. Like, I don't want to pay for everybody's food.
Listen, I don't have a problem. See, here's my thing with bring your own food. If I bring my own food, I'm gonna eat my own food. So
Yeah.
like, if it, yeah. So y'all can have, your spaghetti and meatballs, and people can think it like a potluck, or your ravioli, or your just Mexican food or whatever. If you look at my chicken cross-eyed, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, you better not.
You better not. You better put your eyes back into its vertical position and not look at the food that I brought for myself to enjoy.
I'm supportive of somebody bringing their own food and not sharing. I think that's because I'm a little sister. I'm like, oh, you don't want to share? Hell yeah. That's fine.
Are you the baby of the family?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. See, some now stuff makes sense.
Okay.
Now stuff makes sense. I like that. So listen, if you have a party and I can come and I can bring my own food, I'm with it.
Yeah, and you don't have to share. Sometimes.
Don't worry about it. So here's what I would say. If the host asks for something, I will like get an extra chicken wing, or one of those 99-cent chicken thighs or drumsticks, something that is not full price but a la carte. And you bring that for the host to show your appreciation, or you stay to clean up, to help the host clean up. I'm big on that.
Yeah.
Or nice. If you don't, stuff like that. Kindness. Be kind to one another. Be kind to your host. But anything else, every man for himself, God for us all. What's the food scene like where you are?
Honestly, after living so I like had moved away. I was with a training group for a while in Phoenix, and like Phoenix was honestly really good food. And then we moved to Austin, which had even better food. And then I moved back to Colorado, and I'm like, I see why so many people are fit and skinny here. The food here, not that tight. I don't know if it's the altitude, but when I brought my partner, my boyfriend's originally from Italy. We met in Austin. He was working in the food industry there.
Okay.
And he was the same thing too. He's like, what is happening with the food here? Like, he's like, what? We have really good Mexican food because we have like a pretty good like Latino culture here in Denver. So like we have bomb.com like street tacos, but
bomb.com.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like beer is a very big thing in Denver, and I really wish I was more of a beer person, but like beer is an identity and a personality that you can have in Colorado, which is beautiful for some people. I love that. I support that. But I think honestly, I just think that like we have really good like authentic like Mexican street food. And I know that my Texas friends miss Tex-Mex, but like there's nothing more disgusting than Tex-Mex than yellow cheese. Ugh.
So anybody from Texas listening, don't come for me. I ain't saying nothing. I am a non-discriminatory food. Yes, I take that back. I am. I will. Nah, to each his own. It's okay. So when are you guys opening up the restaurant that enhances the flavor?
I don't know. I don't. Have you ever worked in restaurants?
No.
Yeah, I'm like that's. I'm like now that's. But just by asking that question, I was like, let's see. I worked in service industry. I was a bartender and a server for like 5 years, like when I started my track career too. And Josh opened up like a pizzeria in Austin, and it's just a lot of work, a lot of hours, thankless. People are the worst. They come in, they want the world, and then they tip you $0. And it's just, I don't wish that for anyone. We have thought about doing like an Italian espresso stand or something like that. I feel like people also make coffee an identity here, but in Italy, like they just like, you can go to a bar and it's a stand-up bar, you drink your espresso and then you carry on with your life. And I think maybe if we'd like a food truck like that could really be it.
Italy seems like the coolest place ever. Cause like I would hear things like the town shuts down at lunch and everybody actually enjoys their food. And it's just like this amazing thing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's definitely like a slow culture. You're like, I see why there's a lot of poverty. Well, not a lot of poverty, but like I see why this is not one of the advanced countries. But at the same time, you're like, I also see why you guys seem happier and more satisfied than we are. So,
I
you know,
actually did not know there was a lot of poverty in Italy. I didn't
not a
know.
lot of poverty, but definitely not a lot of money.
Okay.
So like Latin America is definitely more impoverished. I think Italy just like, again, they're taking a lot of breaks. Nothing wrong with that, but I think
Well,
you pay the price somewhere.
well, they lied to me in James Bond. I was looking at the James Bond movie, the last one, and how he was driving and stuff like that. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
brother
like
Bond."
that last one, the one where he dies, where they're like, he never dies, and
No,
then he
no, no,
dies.
no, 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 no. I didn't watch the whole movie. He
Oh,
died.
he dies. But there's always a new one. There's always a new James Bond. That's because I remember it was called like No Time to Die, and I was like, turns out there was time.
And he gone. He gone.
That James Bond is.
That's what I said. He didn't really die.
They never die. I heard the fourth John Wick movie was like that too. I don't have the attention span to sit through those things. So I asked Josh, I'm like, how did it end? He goes, he dies. I was like, did he? He's like, we don't know. And I'm like, oh God.
You see, honest, I don't have the attention span to sit through long movies, but I sat through James Bond. It had my attention thoroughly. But also, I talk back to the screen. I don't know if that's a cultural thing or because I'm like, James, don't you go in that door. Put them dukes up. Don't
You
do
know that
that.
those guys are in there.
Like they interrupt. They around the corner. What you doing, James? Man, you're so stupid. See, that's why you died. That's me. Not in a movie theater.
I make movies interactive as well.
It's more entertaining because I'm just like, if I'm invested in it, like Final Destination, I was so mad. I think there was like 100 of them. I think I saw the sixth one.
100. I've seen at least 2 or 3.
I was so mad at those characters. Like, you ain't got no business doing that.
They're putting themselves in real precarious situations.
I know.
After people got with I feel like millennials, like we're all marked by that truck with the wood thing that killed the guy.
Yes.
No one will find a truck like that now. Not a rake, not a broom.
No, that and the acupuncture, when they put in the needles, see, I don't do needles like that just for that reason. I'm like, because I can flip over and then all of a sudden that's it. Night. No. You will not catch Dominique Christopher Smith the first slipping like that. No, you will not. How do you find time to like relax, especially when you have so much that you look to accomplish in the day?
I try to like at least schedule like if I have like a crazy week, like at least one part of a day in the week. Cause I think like, again, like you get so used to like living the sport life where like, you're getting ready for a major competition, like stressors and everything just evolve and change, like given with the demands. But I try to at least like have it like an hour or something in the week that I can just do, like get my nails done or like go do something that's just like stupid and girly, a self date at a movie where I can talk loudly and there's strangers around me. Or I really have gotten like, I like the routine of reading before bed, but like reading something stupid, like reading something that's just like corny, cheesy, like romance, like just not really nothing complicated. Like the biggest drama in the story is like someone forgot to send a text message, something like that. Like just a low level, drama story before bed. That's probably like where I find the most time like to relax and get ready for bed and try to avoid the anxiety monster that comes for us in the middle of the night.
Hallmark, basically.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, see, I don't really care that much for Christmas, but I do love those Hallmark.
Oh, that's just devastating.
I mean, Christmas, what do I care? But those movies, I will say, like the beginning of Hallmark Christmas movie season is probably something that makes me really enjoy that special time of year.
Did you not have good Christmases as a child? Did Santa bring you a lump of coal or something like that?
No, I mean, I don't want to ruin the Santa surprise. I think my dad slept in and forgot to give us presents one year, and that was really
okay. I see why you don't like Christmas.
I was like, he didn't even leave us coal. I called my mom because she was working and she was at the airport, and she was like, go ahead and put your dad on the phone. Everybody was but I got a Furby that year, so it was okay. But I think Christmas was always just like such a giant deal in my family that I feel like I can't handle the pressure now as an adult myself. I'm like, I cook for 60 people in this weather? No way. No.
Weather outside is frightful.
It is frightful in Colorado. It snowed a lot this year. year.
When did you, and we'll get back to the track after this, then we'll wrap this thing up with a bow. When did, no pun intended, since you're talking about Christmas, but when did you stop believing in Santa Claus? What was that? Was it your dad forgetting the present?
Yeah, for sure. So I remember like I was in the 3rd grade and somebody was telling me that Santa wasn't real. And I was like, listen, I'm a woman of integrity, always have been. I was like, I choose to believe in Santa. And then that year was the year that my dad
That's not funny.
and he had our presents like in these giant trash bags in my neighbor's house. So after my mom, who knows what fear she instilled in him on the phone, he brings the trash bags and just dumps the presents. And yeah, I got a Furby that year, which was 1998, I guess would have been that year. So I think like all was forgiven, but not forgotten, you know what I mean? What about you? When did you find out? Just recently?
No.
About
No. It was back in the day. I don't know what grade I was in. I think maybe 3rd grade, 2, something like that. But we would do the milk and cookies crap.
Yeah.
And so one year my mom said, Santa doesn't want cookies this year. Santa wants a Danish.
Santa wants to fish off from the Delta Airlines.
Yeah. She said, yeah, Santa wants a Danish. So we went to Walmart and got a pack of Danishes and some milk. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And I had to get up to pee at like 10:30. And I just saw my mom at the kitchen table eating Danishes. I was like, okay, well.
Eating the Danish and sipping on some milk.
She ate that cheese Danish and just drinking the milk.
Room temperature milk by 10:30. Oh.
So I was like, okay, well, that's the end of that.
Did she know that you saw her? Did she know?
She didn't know right away, but then I like took a peek and the presents weren't under the tree. Yes. But then quickly I put 2 and 2 together the next morning. And I was like, okay. And so I don't know. That was,
you're a smart kid. I was such a dumbass kid. Like I would have been like, you're eating Santa's Danish. What are you doing?
I think I was so sleepy and so confused that it was just like, could I just peek? Because I saw the lights on. I'm like, isn't everybody supposed to be asleep? Like Santa's coming. And yeah, she's just chilling. Christmas Day. She's just chilling, eating the Danish and the milk.
She just needed a moment of self-care. That's what that was.
Well, now we know where all them cookies and stuff went to.
Exactly. That mystery solved.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do something like that to my kids. Listen, Santa wanted a chicken sandwich. So and let's give him
Santa wants some squid ink pasta.
He wants some squid ink pasta. He needs that. And just put it on a plate and make sure you put it in the microwave. I'm gonna make sure that he gets it.
But he wants it specifically from this restaurant.
From this restaurant. Make sure.
Don't make it. You're not even good at making food. Don't make it.
No, I can't make it, but that's tough now. Like, where am I gonna get my chicken sandwich? That's hard.
Yeah, now you gotta say where Santa's favorite chicken sandwich place is.
I don't even know where my own doggone chicken sandwich place is. It was like it's this hybrid between Popeyes and KFC.
Yeah.
But then there's like the traditional Chick-fil-A. And then there's PDQ. Oh, I hate my life. Anyway.
Choices.
So choices. But anyway, I'm gonna be eating good on Christmas Eve. I get started early, so it's so funny. We're polar opposites. I'm gonna get back to the track, but what was like now that I'm thinking, so you got Furby. So back in '98, so that was my era. What was like that go-to toy? Because there was like
Furby.
There's the Furby, there's the Chia. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chia Pet. Yeah, Chia Pet.
What was that? What was it called? Bop It?
Oh yeah, Bop It before Bop It 2. Spin it, twist it. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it was that little thing that was like, it was like yep. It was the OG shake weight.
We had a Bop It. We had a Bop It, and then we had a Bop It 2. And it goes really fast.
Those toys were just different back then.
People were so creative. There's the Jumanji game.
Yes.
The Jumanji game.
I do. I remember that. I had a Rugrats wagon. Some of these toys I just threw away, and that's why I'm just
oh damn. God bless you.
God bless.
Beanie Babies, Beanie Baby. That was the one thing when I was like, I got diagnosed with cancer in '99. It was a great time to cash in on my Beanie Babies. I really could have paid for college, I guess.
So
Diana Bears.
so shout out to my friend Angela Murhoff. Beanie Babies, those were the ones that they gave you at McDonald's in the Happy Meals, right?
Those were the mini Beanie Babies.
Mini Beanie Babies. Okay.
Yeah.
I used to eat more McDonald's than I admittedly should have gotten the Happy Meals. I never got one of those.
You never got a mini Beanie Baby? I'm trying to remember what years that would. It would have been like maybe 97, 98.
Yes. I was eating solid food by then. I'd never, because I was born in 94. McDonald's, y'all cheated me.
I
Because
think maybe they gave an option, like it was Beanie Baby or the other toy. Because I think my brother like always liked the other toy, the boy toy, but my grandma hoarded those Beanie Babies like she was really investing in Bitcoin, you know?
Oh, listen, she can sell them Beanie Babies for some Bitcoin now.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I start crying, because I ain't get no Beanie Baby back in the day, got that cheap behind hamburger that was probably Rooster's feet. Yeah.
Exactly. You were robbed.
How good did it feel when you posted that picture and it was like the bill got passed? Because I ain't kidding. I almost had to. I don't know who was singing "I'm Just a Bill." Oh, Ray Charles. I was on my Ray Charles singing "She Passed the Bill." Yeah, she passed that old bill and was sitting there on Capitol Hill. Like I was amped. Like as soon as this is over, I'm going to listen to Schoolhouse Rock. That was,
me too.
but what was it like? What was after all that hard work? What was that moment like?
It was so surreal because it just like everything moved so fast. They told us like 24 hours before we were going to the governor's mansion that we were invited to go to the governor's mansion. Like we had less than 24 hours. And
oh my gosh.
I will say posting the picture, you know what, it felt okay only because I got like another picture shortly after that I have on my desktop. I just opened it because I'm looking at it. That was like honestly a way better, higher quality photo. And then so of course, you know, the curse of Instagram, you're like, God damn it, this is a better photo.
Where's the edit button? Oh man,
dude, I know the lighting because we were all backlit. It was a beautiful, you know, with the governor's mansion, beautiful windows, but all backlighting. But I brought my mom. Like they're like, you can bring somebody, so I brought my mom, and you know, during like a lot of like some of the just like the ceremonial speeches, I wept like, and I think a part of that's because like, you know, I have that Latin passion, the Italian in me. So but it was cool. I mean, I think like just to know that like you've done something, like everything that I've done on track, like on the track, has been amazing, of course, but like I think I'm getting to the age and stage of my life now, it's like what you do with that momentum moving forward with it. And that was definitely like one of the first major things like that I was able to influence and be a part of course, because of track, but like as a way to create a better world and a more accessible world for the athletes to come. And I feel like the spirit of sport is like being excited for the new and fresh talent. Like if I'm sure you've been paying attention to track this year, these kids, they're freaks, they're mutant freaks. There's like 7 guys that ran under 10 seconds at NCAA's, like, and para is the same way. Like, are some of our kids that are coming up mutant freaks? These people are running and jumping just like in crazy.
They different.
The milk they weren't eating, you know, maybe because they didn't get the Beanie Babies, you know.
No, see, they see, we didn't have Fresh Kitchen and Chipotle and all that stuff. We had that struggle, you know. Now they're eating grains.
Burger King,
McDonald's, Wendy's before it
Billy
changed. Well, I don't know about no Brother Billy bars, but we probably had something. We probably had a Bob Evans.
Did you ever have a dilly bar? The butterscotch dilly bar from Dairy Queen. I love it.
Oh yeah, and all those blizzards and gosh, shoot, we had Chuck E. Cheese. He was eating pizza.
We had candy cigarettes. That's why we can't run as fast.
Candy cigarettes, Twist. Oh boy, listen, them candy cigarettes make you a chain smoker. I'm just that
oral fixation, something. It's giving Freud. It's giving psychology, but no, I mean, I think like that's something that's been exciting to be kind of like on the later stages of my career, is like being able to see where I can influence change and where you can like fill in the spaces that weren't available for you, so that these kids can continue to just have like insane performances, and they deserve that.
Ooh, so we need to get you fitted for that Nobel Prize.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, need to call Brother Coors and see what he can hook
Something.
up for a sister. You talk about the legacy and looking outside of sport. What do you hope? And I have one more question after this. What do you hope your legacy? What do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done? You've accomplished so much. You're a Paralympian, probably gonna make the Olympic team again, probably gonna ball out again. You crush people's feelings when they think they can do something well, but then you just beat them. But what do you hope your legacy to be? You have that it factor. What do they say? They have that dog in them. You have that
Oh
it
yeah.
factor.
It's gonna give it, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. I got you. All feeling, no feeling. That's how we do.
That's me. Listen, I'm friendly off the track, but yeah, when I get on the track, I'm like, well, I'm gonna let you know. You gotta let them know. I think my legacy, honestly, is that like, I was able to use my opportunities to make it better. Like, and I think that's what I've wanted for, like, with my degree now in my private practice in sports psych, and like just some of the work behind the scenes, again, like with the bill, some of the work behind the scenes, like with a lot of athlete meetings, and that I was really somebody who like used my powers for good and not for evil. That's really what I want my legacy to be.
Oof. 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 Ooh, Lord. Feel churchy up in here. That's what I'm saying.
It's giving community. It's giving bigger than myself,
Ooh, pastor. Ooh, bishop. I'm sorry, bishop.
Bishop.
Last question. Are you having fun?
I love that question. I am finding that I'm having more fun doing, like, being supportive of athletes, so I can tell that like my time is near, because I've loved long jump. I love it. It translated so well with my gymnastics and cheer background, and like it was fun for a while. And I mean, while the training is still fun and I love my training group, I love my training partners, I find more excitement and more fun like in the next chapter, which makes me even more excited for that. So I would say overall, yeah, I'm having fun.
You have survived the interrogation process. Now we are moving on to our last segment called Down the Home Stretch. I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions. I want you to answer them to the best of your ability. Are you ready?
I hope so. We'll
Okay,
find out.
good. We're going to find out. If there was a food that you could live with and a food that you could live without for the rest of your time remaining on this earth, what would those items of food be?
Live without quinoa, disgusting, fake
Yes.
health, terrible. Live with for the rest of my life, pasta. I mean, it's a carb. A great carb is, a great carb. It's easy to find.
I love this Black Air Force One energy that is radiating through the screen from coast to coast. It is, I am here for it. What's the last movie that made you cry?
I just watched, it took me 2 days, but I just watched Avatar: Way of Water, and I had to keep reminding myself that those whales were fake, because some of those scenes are real sad. Those whales.
That made you okay? Well, you see, I can't even get mad at that because
I
animal
cry
movies.
at everything. I will cry in everything.
So those little Save the Pigeons commercials at 3 o'clock in the morning.
A wreck for sure, especially if it's like an animal, like a person dies, you're like, oh, that's too bad. But you see an animal, they can't.
Honestly,
as a white lady, that's one of the most upsetting things for us is to see that them treat those animals.
Okay. What is the go-to? Oh Lord Jesus! You see, you're gonna get me in trouble.
I know,
But half of them commercials are scams. Half those commercials are
that's
scams.
true. That's true.
Them dog
Other
commercials.
white ladies on the other end scamming, their fellow white ladies into paying for stuff, and it works.
Look at this dog. It hasn't eaten in 2 weeks. I'm like, so you got a camera on the dog that has not eaten in 2 weeks?
Like, well, you haven't fed the dog. Just feed the damn dog.
Just feed the dog. Like, feed the dog. Look, what are we doing? Why am I giving $5.99 a year?
A Dollar Tree has dog food.
Yeah, feed the dog. Go fry him a piece of chicken. Go give him the raw chicken. Just feed him. All right. Dream concert to attend.
Dream concert. I don't know. As I'm getting older, I can tell I'm more just like this. I'm like, it's loud. But I would say, I think J. Cole would be fun. I think that'd be a fun show.
If they made a movie about you, who's the actress that you would want to play your character?
Oh, I don't know any actor's name. Somebody told me that I looked like Nope, I'm doing like some girl. But if I were to choose the actor that I would want to play for myself, Jennifer Coolidge. Why not?
Okay.
It's gonna
Okay.
be like it's gonna be an avant-garde movie.
Okay. J. Cool. That's what it is. I'm with it. I'm
Yeah.
with it. All
J.
right. What
Cole,
is
J. Cool.
J. Cole? J. Cool on the beat. That's what I'm talking about. All right. What is your go-to pump-up song?
Ooh, Dirty Diana by Michael Jackson. And I know we're really not supposed to, listen to him because he's a monster, but I really love that song. Dirty Diana.
Michael Jackson is a monster?
Yeah, he did all those kids and stuff. I watched the HBO documentary. Oh, listen, I got news for you.
I mean,
all the Finding Neverland kids. Don't watch it.
But didn't he get proven not guilty for that? I mean, I jammed a lady in my life on some of my jazz playlists.
Listen, but I just like that Dirty Diana song, man. He plays the best. He's got the best music. It's timeless.
Okay. Well, I got to delete all my Michael Jackson on my iPod. Okay.
No, you don't have to delete it. Just listen.
Okay.
Just listen like me.
Michael Jackson. Okay, Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince. Because he's cooler though. And
Because
slightly less problematic.
Okay. If you could play any other sport than the one that you currently beat everybody else in, what sport would you play?
I would. This is going to be terrible to say. Like, I would play baseball. I play in the MLB, mostly for the contract. Maybe just because you're so used to the track contracts, you're like, what would it be like to be paid?
Well, let me tell you something. I was team baseball until a week ago. Did you see that soccer contract Brother Man signed over in Saudi Arabia?
Miami. Oh yeah.
No. Messi's coming down here. I'm talking about the dude from France that signed with the Saudi. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
3 years, $620 million. So 3 years, $200 million a year to kick a ball
in Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you.
Listen, $200 million a year. You know how much, girl? That's
I don't know how much. I can't even conceptualize how much.
That's 437,000 pieces of fried chicken annually that I could get for a sorted discount without the discount. So, I've done the math on that already.
Yeah, you can pay full price every day.
No, I still want my coupons. Give me my coupons.
Yeah, that's true. Anybody who pays full price is a fool.
Let me hold a buy one, get one free. Come on, we need the BOGO 2 for $1, 20% off, 40% off. Give me a percentage off the increase of the food that I'm about to take in.
A perceived percentage. I need to see a number go down.
Go down, all the way down. Let's get it to 0. Couple more questions. If you had to name a dog after a character from The Office, what character would you name them?
Oh, Toby. It depends on the dog's personality.
This is almost like a dad joke. I've always said I would name it freaking David Wallace or Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration. Just a full name.
A whole name.
That's the full name. Alrighty, a couple more questions, and then we're going to wrap this up with a bow. If they had to make a movie about your life, what would be the name of the movie?
The name of the movie, I don't know. One of my taglines that I made for myself was Jill of many trades, master of some.
I just put the goat. That's how we're just gonna rock it. That's how we're gonna rock it. We're just gonna put a goat, and it's just gonna be you holding a goat. Like one of those
prosthetic princess. That would be another one too. I call myself that every now and then because I'd be having legs, man.
A prosthetic. I like that. I
just shipped a bunch of running feet to like a new athlete too, because I have so many running feet from like past contracts that I don't use. Again, I'm like now I'm like Oprah. I'm like, everybody gets a running leg.
Like Oprah, you get a running leg. You get
get a leg. Everybody gets a leg.
Oh my gosh. Nah, I'm not even gonna do that.
I like to stand on. I like to run on. I guess. I'm sorry. I'm doing the worst job of rapid fire.
So here's the thing, I don't care because it never is rapid fire. I forgot just to include that in the introduction. It's
always commentary. I can't help it.
It's always commentary. All righty. let me do this. If you had to pick someone to narrate an event, whether it's the 100 or the jumping events that you participate in, who's going to do it?
Besides myself, let's see.
Besides yourself.
Um,
Narrator, commentate.
Why can't I not remember her name right now? Leslie from SNL.
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones from SNL. She needs to be the voice of NBC Sports.
I believe that if you want to grow the sport of track and field, Snoop Dogg and Leslie Jones in the booth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cosign. Where do we do the change.org petition?
we need something stronger than change.org.
Yeah, that's true.
We need something a little bit stronger. Okay. Taylor Swift song or album that you relate to the most?
Oh, honestly,
you don't like Taylor?
I don't know that much about Taylor Swift. I feel like
perfect.
You're like, me neither. Like, I don't know.
I went to her concert. I mean, I know enough.
I heard she puts on a hell of a show, man, and she lawyered. My friend recently just got sued by her lawyers because they were using. It was she's like a friend of a friend, but she was hosting some event and did the backdrop for the photos that they were taking. So she used a photo of Taylor Swift in front of her backdrop. You know how they have like those like branded backdrop, and she put that on her website, and her lawyers came right after her. She stays litigated, you know.
That was the most low-key flex like ever. Like, you know, I got a home slice that got sued by a sister girl.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That's how you know you're like, are we making it as adults?
Like, we made it. You got sued. You got that autograph.
Like lawyers know your email. That's so impressive.
My God. Like, she knows that you exist. Okay. I really don't want to ask this question, but I have to ask this. When is it too early to listen to Christmas music?
When is it too early? It depends. Like the DMX, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that's all year long. You can listen to that all year just for novelty purposes.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very I cannot. You just got the dogs barking in the background.
Yeah, I feel, you know. But like, so my dad used to really like Johnny Mathis. Fun fact, he was a high jumper.
Love Johnny. Brother Mathis was a high jumper.
Yeah, he was a high jumper. You have to Google that.
I love Johnny Mathis, man.
Johnny Mathis, I think Johnny Mathis can make an appearance November 1st. Because honestly, like after Halloween, I mean, Thanksgiving, I could take it or leave it. Like, and as soon as those Hallmark movies are out, it's Johnny Mathis time for me. Johnny Mathis Christmas.
What's the best Johnny Mathis Christmas song? Because I love Brother Mathis. I got him on my iPod.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That's, yeah.
What am I?
He's got the vibrato.
Everywhere you go, take a look at the 5 and 10. See, God in heaven. One of my favorite Christmas songs of all time is called Caroling, Caroling. And he has a version of it, and he mixed Caroling, caroling, now we go. Chris, I actually don't think that's a bad impression of Brother Mathis.
No, that's not bad. I just feel like I associate his voice with Christmas music. That was like my dad's birthday is the 29th, and like we would go ham for Christmas when I was little, and that was like he'd pull out all those Johnny Mathis cassette tapes, and that's how you knew our house was playing nothing but Johnny Mathis Christmas.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I don't know, and he's on all the Hallmark movies. Yeah, like, I don't know what else.
All of them.
Honestly, I woke up and I left my TV on, and one day I hear Joy's voice. I was like, Johnny, what are we doing, man? What is a quote? The last two questions. What's a quote that you live by?
Don't take it personal. Don't take it. That's also my Vecna song. It's just one of them days.
Oh boy.
Just in case. Yeah.
Oh man. Mine is if you can't fry it, don't buy it. CC came up with that. I actually came up with that. Last question. Why does kindness matter to you?
Kindness matters to me, I think, because it shows that you have like an appreciation and an ability to understand that like other people's experiences are different. Like, how am I going to say this? Kindness matters to me because like we don't live alone in a vacuum in this world, right? Like we have to interact with each other. And I think like affording kindness to other people lets lets those people know that you care. Like, and I think like kindness is what makes us make the right decisions at the legislative level all the way to decisions we make on the track. If we want to help our competitor on the runway with their steps, like that takes nothing from me. So I think kindness is like the reason why we're able to help people.
You have survived down the home stretch. You aced it. You
I did
killed it. You
Armpits were
stepped.
hot.
There you go. You were stepping lightly like a woodpecker with a headache, and that's how we roll on this show. Where can the good people of the world find you and support your journey?
I guess like the biggest splash I've made in the world is on my Instagram at Lacey is your friend. That was also my AIM screen name. And
oh boy, we showing our age here. Got AIM.
That was me. That was who I was known to be after my embarrassing AIM screen names. Yeah, Lacey is your friend on Instagram, Twitter. Lacey is your friend because I had to sacrifice some letters when I got Twitter in 2009. And yeah, that's about it. I'm the older I get, the less social media I do, which is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, this is AIM, MySpace.
Yeah, and you can find me at AOL Instant Messenger at Lacey is your friend.
Lord, I mean, she. We going old school. I love, like I said, this Black Air Force One energy, this 90s hip hop vibe, this like I don't even know. Like I'll have to figure out the 90s hip hop band that the energy reminds me of.
You're not the first person to say that to me. I think I was somebody in a past life. I don't know who.
I feel like I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Like you talk, I hear your words, and I think of like the Wu-Tang Clan.
That's
like
such a nice compliment too. I got two of the best comments of my life here. Hot sauce on pork rinds, and even just any sort of allusion to Wu-Tang Clan. Ain't nothing.
Listen, I love them. I love Wu-Tang. I love De La Soul. The Roots. That's my band.
Yeah.
And so in the words of them, we are going to proceed and continue. And thank you for taking time out of your busy life to come on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Love, peace, and chicken grease. And we're gonna catch you next time.